Hello again, it's Locknoob, and I'd like to introduce you to my Brandy and Wine concept/challenge lock. Now, those of you who watch my channel know that I don't really do pin making, but when I do, I just like to have fun with it really. I don't worry so much about trying to create an impossible to beat challenge lock, and more just run some concepts and have a bit of fun doing some design. So why is it Brandy and Wine? Well, hopefully it will become quite obvious, and forgive my hands, they're covered in JB weld, which is actually welded to my hands. So the first one is a little wine bottle, which hopefully will act like a T-pin in the lock. The second one is a little brandy bottle, very cute, again acting like a T-pin. Then we have a wine glass. And if I turn it upside down, you'll see I've just hollowed out the top a little bit, so it looks a little bit more like a wine glass. And if you think that a spring might foul inside there, well, I've checked that, and actually a standard spring won't foul inside. And even if it did, it'll only get so far and then stop, and it'll still act like a spring anyway. So we're okay. Then we have a goblet, and this goblet, the wine glass will act like some form of spool. The goblet will act a bit like a barrel pin because it's got a little extra spooling in the middle. Well, that's the hope anyway. And last but not least, a nice highball tumbler. And yes, again, hold out the top, and you can see some little serrations, just like you get on a highball tumbler. So, and this is in place of a sort of standard pin. So I did 5 pins for a 5-pin lock. Mostly because I didn't want to have to do 6 pins. So how am I going to pin this one up? Well, the bitting on this key is actually quite nice because it's very high, which means that most of these pins should become active when I put them in the lock itself. So let's see how they would sit in. Just having a look down here, I think the shortest pin is 4, so I might put the tumbler in 5 and then this little one in 4. I might have to turn him upside down a little bit for now so he sits in, or just leave it like that, just so it just have a little pin inside. And then what else can we have? Got 3 nice deep chambers, so the deepest seems to be 1, so it'd be really great, I think, to put in this one. I'll put him upside down, and then we'll put this one the right way up in 3. I don't think it really matters which way around you put these, really, just a bit of fun, isn't it? And then this wine bottle should go quite nicely upside down in 2. Yeah, I reckon that's going to be good. So let's pin this one up, and let's start with pin 3, and I've got to remember spring and then invert the pin. So let's just choose a spring, put him in 3, there you go, get 3 and invert it so that it will be in the same orientation as we had just there. Actually, I'll get that all the way up. There we go. And yep, that's good. And then 2. Inverted. Should definitely act like a T-pin. Then 1. This hopefully will be nice and tricky. Turn around. 4, which is a little one, and just put that in. It's going to be a tricky one to get in. There we go. Got ya. In you go. And now the last spring and the last pin. is the serrated tumbler, acting as a sort of standard pin. There we go. Now, before I put the plug in, I must put a shim in place, just because the tail of this core has a ridge where the circlip goes in the back, and that is guaranteed to trap all the T-pins in there, and that will just be awful. So gonna have it facing all the way up like that. Let's slide it in. I'm going to keep my thumbs on it just to make doubly, triply, quadruply sure that that isn't going to trap any T-pins. There we go. I think we got away with it. And now the proof of the pudding is in whether the key works. Okay. I've never done this actually on this, so you're watching it for the first time too. Oh, thank goodness it opens, and it, yeah, a little notchy. But actually, no, it's just because I haven't put the circlip on the back. It's fine. So that's great. Okay, so there we go. That's my brandy and wine concept challenge lock. In my next video, or one of my next videos, I'll have a go at picking it and see where I get to. I hope you found that fun. Hope you like my designs. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.